So I'm going to share now the 5 tips that are going to help expedite skill development, to train your players to know how to do these techniques, and not just know how to do them, but make them so they're second nature habits, what we call unconscious competence, where the player can do them unconsciously without having to think about them on a repeat basis, on a routine basis, on command when it comes time to play. Tip number 1, we're going to start drill progressions from an optimal fit position and work backwards. Okay, so this is maybe the most important coaching point that I'll share. What we've discovered is that you want to start from that contact position, teach the players the postures and the fit, the feeling of being strong with the shoulder, with the hands, etc. This applies to all of our contact techniques. We start there, we teach them where they're going to be when they want to engage. What does that look like? And then we get them to train on that, and then we work backwards. So number 1, it mitigates the risk because we're not starting from a position where we're running at each other and striking each other without the skills. We're developing those skills first and foremost to teach them where they want to be. What happens is it really makes this whole thing go quicker. Players understand, okay, now that I know what I'm supposed to get to, I'm going to figure out how to get there a little faster otherwise. So I can train that. I can know the postures. Okay, then we're going to back it up a little bit, and then again incrementally back it up to a point where we're engaging from distance, where the speed of the collision increases. Number 2, drill with human partners, real humans. We want to drill with real human partners. There is no shortcut for drilling and playing with other humans, because that's what we're doing on the field. Guys that you know, that's the reality of the situation. Most of these sleds that we have out there, not to put them down, but they just don't resemble the same movements of humans, so they're not going to offer the benefits like it would if you had a real person out there to train with. So we highly recommend that. 3, drill with shoulder pads and without a helmet whenever possible. This is another huge thing for me. We train all of our guys with shoulder pads. Do these drills without helmets on. Train the players to use their weaponry. What's their weaponry? Their shoulder pads. Look, pads are used for both our benefit, and we're also going to exploit the opponent here by teaching our guys how to, what handles to grab. You would never send a Navy SEAL into combat without training him properly with his equipment. We should never send our players into combat or contact situations in football without properly and thoroughly developing them, at least teaching them where to put the hands, where to put the shoulders, and then drilling around that in low intensity situations. Number 4, master your mechanics at low speed and intensity before you advance to more high speed drills, for example, or even full speed competition. We really want to master these skills, and if you can do something at a really low speed, if you can master the movement patterns with total body control at a speed of 5, 10, 20, 30%, you can do it at 100%. Now, conversely, if you can't do it at 100%, then you certainly can't do it at 5%. And traditionally in football, what happens is guys, where they're lacking in that understanding of the best technique, it's like this gray area. So instead of really finding those postures, all we try to do is just hit harder, get out there, get faster, and hit harder. So what we're suggesting, and I'm suggesting, and we've seen this in action, it works, is to develop your kids at a low volume, low speed, low intensity, and elevate that as they get better, and don't let them graduate until they do. So you might ask, well, how do I do that? How do I get these guys going with the season underway, or whatever? Well, that's why we're telling you now. You have to start now. It's so important to teach these guys. I mean, that's how our brains work. We learn. You're not going to just be able to go and flip on that switch. Very few people, if anybody, can do that effectively. Learning a new skill in an environment where they think there's perceived risk, can't do it. You got to develop it in the off season. That starts now, and it goes all the way through the season, and it never ends. Which brings me to point number 5: drill year round. We don't want to stop drilling. We want to continue that. If you want to jump into a swimming pool, without a lifeguard there, you better learn how to swim, right? We need to learn how to play football, and that takes year-round mechanics, year-round drills. And the beauty of our system here is you don't have to do it with high-speed impacts. You can do it without impacts at all in the off season. And guess what? The guys are going to really show up when the pads do come on, or the helmets come on, when it comes time to play real live football come this fall. It's been done. It's been done. We really want to share with you. If you haven't followed our program, I hope you do. Please just take what you can off of this. We really have a choice here in the matter. It's going to come down to regulators, administrators, bureaucracies, and governing bodies who are going to either destroy our sport through new rules and regulations and restrictions, or it's going to be us, the coaches, who make this change happen organically. We fix it from within, and that's the option we have. And I think we want the latter, because guess what? We can play this game. It doesn't have to be soft, but it can certainly be a lot safer And when you start to play at this level and your kids are starting to play with that amazing power and they're performing at the highest level and they're not touching their face, their head on another player, we've done our job, and it's a fun thing to see, and it's an awesome evolution of this sport. And keep in mind, the only reason evolution ever occurs in nature, it's only for one reason. It's necessity. We have to do this, guys. We have to change this. Thank you for your support. Please subscribe to our site if you haven't done so already, and please reach out with any other suggestions or tips or requests for new videos. Thanks.